Let's go. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Sunday, July 13th, and decided to just take a little morning ride up through the mountains, actually up through this little countryside kind of neighborhood in a little town just east of the Ogden area. And yeah, we're just unscripted, kind of random, sort of last minute video idea that I had. So decided to just turn the camera on and start talking to you guys. Easy ride today. We're going to stick to pavement. I just want to get my thoughts out. I want to talk about change, and at least this is what's been on my mind. So some big changes are coming for me personally and my family, and that'll mean changes in scenery for the channel. And with changes, it brings on a certain level of stress and anxiety, and there's especially changes that are this big. We're relocating from where I grew up to, well, further away. How about that? Leaving behind some friends and family. You know how that goes. And those kind of changes can bring on some stress, some anxiety. The typical frustrations of moving and the uncertainty of moving to a new city. And so I've been trying to get out for some rides as much as I could to just kind of keep those demons in their coffin. And what better way to do it than to get on the bike, come up to a beautiful area like this. I don't have to be in a hurry, and no one's going to be pushing me. But as I say that, there's a truck just tucked in behind me with a trailer. If I get to a spot to let him go by, I'll let him go by, because I am not in a hurry. So yeah, so with a lot of that, stress and anxiety and uncertainty and everything, it's really easy to get super frustrated, and it's really easy to sort of get in your own head, and when that happens, it's really hard to get back out. And it's been kind of an interesting summer so far. Spring and summer have been relatively uneventful. I haven't really posted anything. I've been filming a lot, just haven't been able to put anything together, and really haven't been stoked on what I've been able to put together, actually, and that's kind of a big reason why I haven't really posted much. Just not excited about the content that I've been making, and I'm hoping that this change will change some of that. It's not necessarily my career path that's taking us to where we're going. It's my spouse, and so we're kind of uprooting the family and heading for a new adventure. So hopefully the content will reflect the excitement and the kind of the new scenery. I mean, I've kind of run out of places here to really show you guys. I've filmed a lot of the areas that I like to ride in anyway already, so yeah. But with all that comes, can come a certain level of, mental health struggles. You know, you kind of fall into this sort of toxic state, and it's really easy to get bogged down with, you know, details and obsessing and worrying and stressing, and then, you know, you combine that with, at least in my case, you know, I suffer from not severe insomnia, but it's not mild. I would call it, you know, moderate. Call it moderate insomnia. So I don't sleep well as it is, and then you add on, you know, you add on the taxes of this new venture, and mental fatigue sets in because physical fatigue is so prevalent, and it's really easy to get lost in the negative aspects of all of that stuff. So yeah, just wanted to get on the bike and take a ride. The heavy stuff hasn't even started yet, and that's kind of why I'm wanting to fill the tank, so to speak, as much as I possibly can. Really bank the miles, really bank the good vibes, stockpile them, because here in the next couple weeks, you know, I'm not going to be able to even touch the bike. So, and that brings me to kind of the point of this video, and that is, you know, change is inevitable. You're gonna go through the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows of life, and it doesn't matter what situation you're in, good, bad. You know, if you're well off, if you're struggling, if you come from a wealthy family or a broken home, you know, change it's inevitable, and there really isn't much you can do about it to avoid it. Even doing nothing and just standing still and going about your day-to-day life, the same routine, you get older. You know, you get older, things come up, health issues come up, changes in other people's lives can affect yours. Maybe the company that you've been at for 20 years decides to sell or starts struggling financially, and, you know, they have to sell or lay off a bunch of people or go out of business, and now you're out of a job, and there's change. And, you know, you have a family member that gets sick, and maybe you have to take care of them. That's a big change. And so change is inevitable, and you can choose. There's two ways I look at change, and that is, you can fight it. You can you know, you can butt heads with it, and the change is going to happen anyway. And you can you can really drive the struggle bus through all the bullshit. And when you come out the other side, you know, it could be a negative thing. It can be a negative experience, and you can come out and you can go, oh, fuck, that sucked. Or you can choose to evolve with it. Let that change be a catalyst, or a launching pad, so to speak, you know, and really look at the opportunity as, hey, I get to write a new chapter. I don't know what the words are going to be yet. I don't even know what ink I'm going to write it in, but I know I'm going to write it, and it's going to be epic. And, you know, the thing about adventure in general, human beings by nature, I mean, you go back, I don't know how long human beings have been around on the earth, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, whatever. You know, adventure is in our nature. It's in our DNA. We tend to get stagnant and want to seek out something new, something different. And adventure doesn't have to look like, you know, living off of a motorcycle for a year, traveling around the world. It doesn't have to look like, you know, climbing Mount Everest or whatever. Like, adventure can really just be any big change that alters the course of your life. And if you allow it, if you allow the adventure to write itself, that your story will evolve and your story will progress, and your own story will, you won't have to search for the story. The story will just unfold, and that's how I'm choosing to look at this. You know, I'm in my 40s. Change like this can be difficult. You know, you're established in your community, or you're established with your career or whatever. I don't have really a career. I work kind of a bullshit 9-to-5 that does well enough that I haven't decided to quit yet in terms of pay. You know, but it's nothing I would call a career. So for me, it's a little bit easier for me to just, you know, pull up the tent stakes and move on. And that may not be the case for everybody. But at any rate, you got to look at what change is and what change does, and the nature of changing and evolving and growing. Some people choose to fight it, some choose to embrace it, but either way, it's, like I said, it's inevitable, and there's really no big way around it. And I think that attitude, at least so far, has helped keep me out of the mental shit. I'm going up that road before we leave. Before we move away, I'm going to go up that road anyway. I feel like that attitude, at least so far, has really helped keep me out of the negative bullshit, the mental shit, because I tend to get pretty pessimistic, and I tend to focus on the negative. And what I have found in doing that is I have never come across a situation, and I'm gonna go off on a side quest real quick, but I haven't had it super hard. I didn't come from a wealthy family. We struggled, you know, broken home, having to sell our car to pay rent in an old shitty house with no heat. Like, I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. I grew up, I'm not gonna say poor, but I grew up, you know, struggling. But it shaped a big part of my, I guess, personality. You learn to just adapt to what you have, and not necessarily appreciate what you have, because sometimes what you have just sucks and there's no way around that. But it also I kind of developed this pessimistic outlook on things. But what I found through that, and like I said, you know, there's a lot of people in this world that have struggled way more than me, and have grown up much less fortunate than me, and still struggle to this day. And I don't want to take anything away from that. But what I have found personally is, if you tend to focus on the negative and you have that pessimistic outlook, really, I mean, that's like, it makes up to be only about 2% of the actual experience, and the rest of whatever the experience is really epic. It can really be amazing. It can really be spectacular. And we're gonna get a little bit bogged down here. No big deal. Cyclists. My uncle is an ultra endurance cyclist, so I most certainly give them the respect they deserve. And you're good. You're good. Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? So yeah, so I really feel like if you focus on the negative, you're focusing on 2% of what the experience is actually, you know, providing for you. And if you choose to focus on that 2%, you are missing out on so much. You're missing out on so much just epic shit. And I'll say this: epic doesn't necessarily mean perfect. You know, like nothing in this life is perfect. But you can go through these experiences that are difficult, and if you really make the effort to use them as a catalyst for something bigger, then the 98% that is epic will so massively overshadow the negative. So anyway, I'm done rambling. Gonna just enjoy this ride. I don't have a lot of time today because I got a list of shit that I need to start doing to prepare for this move. It's not like we're just moving across the valley, moving to an entirely different state, entirely different city. And so the laundry list of things to do is a bit bigger. So anyway, I wanted to share those thoughts with you guys, share this ride with you guys. I'm gonna quit rambling now, and yeah, that's all you get. We'll see you next time.